So with that, we can move on to the second round of round 2. Gapped, if you would like to pick our 2 competitors and the question, the floor is yours.
So today we'll be picking Mift and Rob, and I want you guys to debate the topic. Is Arbys good? Yes or no? This is very important.
Here we go.
Is Arbys good? Yes or no? Somebody call a coin flip.
Heads.
All right. It is heads. Robbie, first or second?
I'll go second.
All right. Robbie electing to go second. Mift, you are first up. Timer on the screen. Let me just think about your answer while I unpin and repin all of you. There you have it. 1 minute. Come on. 1 minute 30 on the clock. Mift, your time begins now.
Arbys is delicious. So I don't eat meat. I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for 6 years. However, my childhood was fueled by Arbys. There's something that is so delicious about a roast beef sandwich and like the juices that flow and then the sesame seed bun on top. And you get Arbys sauce, which is like that mixture of ketchup and barbecue sauce that is like so delicious and it tastes so good. And there's nothing better than that. Oh, wait, there is something better than that. There are potato cakes. There are curly fries. There are apple turnovers and cherry turnovers. There are milkshakes. There are other meat sandwiches. They even have fish for Lent. There's nothing wrong about Arbys. Arbys is delicious. There are, I would say, some critiques I could give to Arbys. I definitely think that their menu may be a little overpriced for their market, but the food is delicious. It's not that the meals are bad, it's that their marketing is bad. And so Arbys itself is very good. Yes, I don't eat there anymore because I can't eat anything on the menu, but it is delicious. It is the kind of comfort fast food that I would turn to when I was a kid after a bad soccer practice, after a bad day at school. And like those memories are also what fuels that, like what makes it so good. Like all of us have that restaurant. And so for me, Arbys is really good. And it also has to do with that emotional value.
All right. Right on time, 1 minute 30. Robbie, over to you. Your response. Your time begins now.
Okay, so the thing is with so many fast food selection items you could get, different places you could go, why would you go somewhere that has such a high caloric content per item? So, the potato cakes that you had mentioned, do you know how much the calories are in that compared to something at a different establishment? You're actually, based on the way that they prepare it, you could actually get healthier items at a different fast food establishment, than the potato cakes or curly fries, or even from a fish fillet perspective, like some of the items that you can get at places like Panera or Boudin, or even on the lower end, you could find inexpensive fast food options that are vegan, vegetarian friendly, or alternative menus, and not have to go so high on the calorie. So that is one of the main reasons I personally think it is not the healthiest or a very healthy choice when it comes to eating fast food. I actually was trying to be super smart and have the calories, but some of the ingredients, for instance, that they put in their crispy buffalo chicken sandwich is Parmesan peppercorn ranch sauce. Definitely going to be really high in calorie content, oil, things like that. Spicy buffalo sauce as well on that same sandwich.
That is going to be time. 1 minute 30. Back over to you, Mift. Your time begins now.
I would never be so stubborn as to say that Arbys is healthy. I don't think Arbys is particularly healthy, but I don't think the average family is worrying about health when they're choosing fast food. Like fast food is about the calories. It's about feeling full. Like most families are trying to feed their children, and that involves making them feel full. And that means calorie heavy diets. And that means feeding them enough food so they can grow healthy. And sometimes that means foregoing the healthiest option, the thing that has the most diversity in its plate. I definitely don't think my family could have ever afforded to eat Panera every night, but like Arbys was within our budget to have it more frequently. And so I think that, yeah, it may not be the most healthy, but I do not think that like that is what gatekeeps whether something's good or not. Like not everything that we like is healthy. And let's be real, like I know more than one person here is already drinking. I don't think that that's healthy, but that doesn't mean it's not good. It makes you feel good. It's fun to do. Like not everything that's good has to be healthy. And I don't think that those should become synonymous, because that's really unhealthy. Like, for our culture. And so I think Arby's is good food. It's delicious. It tastes good. It's fun to eat, and it can be an experience that's enjoyable. And yeah, maybe it's really high in calories, but like, I don't think that that should be whether the determination of whether something's good or not.
All right. Again, using time to the fullest. Perfect. 1 minute 30 on the clock. Back over to Robbie. You are muted. However, Anonymous dropping the $25. Now, because only Germanic Ogre is currently out, I believe this is a bring back for Germanic Ogre. I didn't see anything coming with that. So, what it sounds like is Germanic, you are going to be coming back at the end of round 1, picking one of the winners to attempt to steal their spot. So, with that, Robbie, 1 minute 30 back over to you. Your time begins now. But you are muted, so let's run it back. Muted in Zoom, so running it back.
Okay.
There we go.
So,
1 minute 30. Back over to you. Your time begins now.
So, for instance, you said pricing. If I wanted to go and have some prime cut chicken tenders, it's $7.69 at Arby's. It's $8 after tax here in California. I'm at $10, so for $10 you can really get at several places. So there's definitely something to be said about that price, and competitively speaking, you can find more selection, healthier, better, fresher ingredients at other establishments that are around the same price. So the argument that Panera bread is more expensive, well, yeah, but definitely depends on the items, and definitely when you're looking at prices at Arby's, things start to kind of become very comparable. Except for instead of spending $5.69 on a classic roast beef meal, you can spend $5.69 on half a sandwich and a bag of chips. It just depends on what you want. Even if you don't go to Panera, if you go to other places, Taco Bell, you can order different things off their fresco menu that are actually very healthy and very inexpensive, right? So it just depends. So anywhere from that price range of $5 to $13, I'm thinking, I think Arby's is expensive, it's unhealthy, and there's a lot of other places I could take my family.
All right. Perfect. Right at the end of the time there. 1 minute back and forth. Talk to each other. Get any last points in. Your time begins now.
I hear what you're saying about other places to go, but I think that's the entire point of like the choice of fast food, right? Like there are like lots of options you can choose from, and like one doesn't necessarily have to be bad for you to choose other options. Like my family would probably always choose to go to Taco Bell, but like it's not because McDonald's isn't good or like Wendy's isn't good. It's just like we would choose Taco Bell. And in my case, I'd choose Arby's.
Anything you want to say to that, Robbie?
It's open. Okay, so yeah,
it's open.
My curiosity is why would you choose Arby's over Taco Bell? Like, wouldn't you ever want like the variety that Taco Bell has to offer over just kind of the very specific items?
But sometimes you just want succulent meat in your mouth, just like dripping down your chin, and then like that Arby's sauce.
And that's all the time we have. 1 minute is over.
Yes, succulent meat.
3 minutes
to end on.
Time to vote, chat. 3 minutes. Contestants, please send or judges rather, please send your selection of who you think did better to Gapped. And then Gapped, once you have received all of the votes, you are free to direct voting if you want to go down the order. Chat, right. 3 minutes. It's up the poll. The poll is up right now. Vote. Gapped.
Are we allowed to double vote in Twitch chat as well?
I mean, you shouldn't, but like I can't stop you.
Right.
Like it's an integrity thing, you know. So Gapped, the floor is yours to direct the voting process here.
All right. Hold on, move my camera around. So let me just do this in my order. So Odin, who did you vote for? Who did better? Tell me why.
I voted for Mift because of the fact that he made a very good, valid point about whenever you're a child and when you're with your family, you don't always choose a healthy option. You choose what the family wants, and especially when you have little kids, they're not thinking about, oh, I need something healthy. So that made more sense to me.
Okay, I love the pathos appeal. I love that. All right. Absolute Justice, who did you think did better and why?
I voted for Robbie, mostly because Robbie asked Miff some questions I don't think Miff ever answered, such as like, okay, if Arby's is unhealthy and expensive and doesn't have a good variety of food, what's the reason to go there? And I don't really remember Miff saying anything to that other than the succulent meat thing that ended the debate, which I don't think that's a great reason to go to Arby's, especially when Taco Bell also has meat. So I'm just left without anything like positive of Arby's coming out of that.
All right. Well, personally, I love some succulent, juicy meat. But anyways, Aaron, who did better and why?
I understood the prompt this time. I don't know who I thought was better. I voted for Mift because Mift had a stronger start. And then, like, obviously, like, things got rocky for both towards the end. But, like, I was like, okay, well, stronger start is, like, one solid point, whereas, like, everything became, like, incremental in my head. So that's all. I voted for Mift.
All right. I love that for you. Germanic, I think you're one of the judges still, even though you're elimination.
Yes.
But who did you vote for and why?
So I voted for Miff largely because, and Robbie, I love and appreciate you. I voted for Miff because the question was, is Arby's good or not? And Miff brought up so many great points, and that was like, it's nostalgia, it's the comfort food, it's what you're craving. I mean, you know, Robbie brought up some great points as well, like the health, nutrition, the caloric intake, and different options, whatnot. But you know, Miff's point was like, you want a roast beef sandwich, you want something on top of that, you want the curly fries. Like, you went there because it's comfort food. And all the points made in the second round was the same thing as like, you know, yeah, the other places have options, but you know, it is you want to go there because it's a good sandwich. You get the horsey sauce, you get the cheese on top, you get the curly fries. Like, it's go time. I haven't had Arby's in forever, and I literally had it like a few weeks ago, and I forgot, like, holy shit, this is still really good. And so I think he made some great points.
Thank you. All right, so next up, Sorellen, who did better and why?
I voted for Mift on much of the same premise that Germanic Ogre just made. Essentially that, you know, in this case, Mift and Robbie both made extremely good points against each other, but I believe that the strength of Robbie's argument was actually better off the bat. I believe he brought up some substantive arguments about, okay, it's unhealthy, there's high caloric values, you're getting low value for the food that you're getting, right? So Robbie brought up some very, very good substantive points, but then Miff basically countered those arguments essentially by nullifying them on a basis of it's good food, fuck the nutritional value of it. And I don't think Robbie ever addressed that in the final prompt. And so, you know, I think Robbie's points were stronger, but they were effectively nullified, and Miff's points were not nullified. You know, Miff made the argument on a personal value that was not nullified, and Robbie made the argument on a nutritional value, but that was nullified. So I'm going to give it to Miff.
All right, that was a lot of big words, and I knew two of them. So next, Earthly, who did better and why, love?
All right, so I thought that there were like a few ways that both of their arguments probably could have been a little bit stronger, but I ended up going with Miffed because I felt like Robbie's initial approach felt kind of like just kind of trying to like knock the idea of like buying fast food instead of other like food choices you could make, and it just felt like it wasn't like super pertinent to the Arby's question. I think he made good points about that, but I think Miffed stuck to the prompt and argued the prompt just a little bit better and more like with more adherence to it.
So
All right,
Right.
so Gapped, you have all the votes. I believe that means that Mift takes this one, right?
Let me read. I can't read.
I think it was.
I believe
think
most
it was
people
5-1.
voted for Mift in this one. And chat also voting for Mift, barely with 55% of the vote. So with that, Mift, congratulations. You have won the second debate of round one.